What's good, YouTube? It's Nas, and we back with another video. We're over 300 subscribers, of course. And in today's video, we're going to be talking about a Hall of Famer, the first ballot Hall of Famer in the class of 2025, in Carmelo Anthony. And I already made a versus about Carmelo Anthony, but I never really made a regular video about Carmelo Anthony. And as we all know, if you're watching this video, Melo was a bucket, and Melo could score from all three levels. He had the mid-range, when he was in his athletic peak, he would go punch it on you. He had the crafty finishes at that time. He had the three-pointer, and he had the dribble moves. So doing that at 6'8" was fucking crazy. And when he came into the league a winner, I'm pretty sure not a lot of people remember that or know that. Melo won a national championship at the University of Syracuse, and not a lot of people talk about that because they just assume that he's a loser, which he was put in terrible positions. But let's just get into it. In his first season with the Denver Nuggets, he averaged 21.6 rebounds and 3 assists. And I still see people talk about the debate whether he should have got Rookie of the Year over LeBron, but them two are good friends, so I'm not gonna really say that. But Melo was fucking a bucket, bro. Like, you're gonna keep hearing me say that because that's really what he was skilled at. And back in these years, he was actually playing some defense. I know when he got to New York, people were criticizing his defense, but Denver Melo is slept on, and it sucks that he's not gonna get his jersey retired in Denver because obviously Jokic wears number 15 now, and Melo was 15. But I don't know which highlights I'm gonna show. I might show Denver Melo because fuck it, why not? But in his next season, in his second season, he averaged 21 points, 5.5 rebounds, and 2.5 assists. Again, didn't make that jump. In the 05-06 season, when he did make that jump, he averaged 26.5 points per game, 5 rebounds, and 2.5 assists. And I'm not sure he was an all-star this season because if I can remember correctly, the West was deep and they were talented. But I know for damn sure the next season he was an all-star, where in the 2006-2007 season, he averaged 29.6 rebounds and 4 assists, being that bucket getter, being the one that they rely on. And this was the season before they got Chauncey Billups, obviously, and him and Allen Iverson were a duo at this time, and the duo really wasn't working. AI wasn't a true point guard, the true point guard that Melo needed, but man, them niggas was fun to watch, bro. Like, when you see their highlights when they used to combine for these highest scoring games, it was just tough, bro. And imagine today in society, Melo and AI on the same team. Like, that shit sound crazy to me now when we in 2025. Imagine in the 2000s how swaggy this duo was. I sound like a fanboy, but that's just the truth. And if you hear me sound excited about this video, it's because I was actually a Melo fan. I'm still a Melo fan, basically, even when he retired out the league. Like, he was the only jersey that I've ever had in my life. Like, my pops put me a Melo jersey. That's what I can remember. But in his next season, in the 07-08 season, he averaged 25.5 points per game, 7.5 rebounds, and 3.5 assists. Again, leading his Denver Nuggets team. His next season, in the 2008-2009 season, he averaged 23.7 rebounds and 3.5 assists. And it's crazy because his lowest amount of points averaged, this is when they made their deepest playoff run in the 08-09 season, when they made the conference finals and they lost to Kobe Bryant. Like, because that Denver Nuggets team was good. They had Kenyon Martin, they had Chauncey Billups, they had J.R. Smith, and obviously they had Melo. And I'm pretty sure Nene was on that team, and Marcus Camby, if I can remember correctly. They were talented, bro. And they obviously didn't win anything because obviously they was playing against Kobe. But Melo put up one hell of a fight. You can't say that Melo didn't try, and not a lot of people will know that. So if you didn't know Melo was in the conference finals, go rewatch that series because that series was lit. It's on YouTube. But in the 09-010 season, the 09-2010 season, Melo averaged 28 points, 6.5 rebounds, and 3 assists. Again, getting back to regularly scheduled programming with Melo. Like, that 23 points was a fluke during his prime, bro. And what people don't get was Melo was really durable. Like, Melo really didn't have a season missing under 50 games until the 2014-15 season, which is a crazy run because, as we know, these all-time greats usually miss a lot of games and they stop being productive, basically. But that never really happened for Melo. Like, he did fall off. He did fall off, but the cliff wasn't that far off, if that makes sense to y'all. But in his next season, his last season with the Denver Nuggets, he played 50 games with Denver before he was obviously traded in the trade deadline. He averaged 25.7.5 rebounds and 3 assists. And when you look back at it now, people say it was a mistake for the Knicks, and I don't disagree with that at all, because they could have really just waited until the offseason. They knew that Melo wanted to go to New York. They could have sent him to New York, and they just traded for him there in the offseason, which jeopardized basically all of their assets at the time. So that trade really didn't make sense to me. But Melo, when he got to New York, he averaged 26 points, 6.5 rebounds, and 3 assists. And I'm pretty sure Knicks Melo is which Melo was going to be remembered for, basically. And needless to say, he did light up New York, because obviously, me being a kid from New York, Melo obviously inspired me in many ways. But his second season in New York, he averaged 22.5 points per game, 6 rebounds, and 3.5 assists. And I'm pretty sure this was the Knicks team that made the playoffs, or it was the next season, in the 2012-2013 season, where he averaged basically 28.5 points per game, 7 rebounds, and 2.5 assists. Again, being that bucket getter for the Knicks. And that Knicks team in the early 2010s was severely underrated. Like, they had Melo, obviously. They had Stoudemire for a season, but he obviously got injured and he was never the same player. They had Iman Shumpert coming off the bench, and they had J.R. Smith coming off the bench. And they had Steve Novak. Not a lot of niggas remember Steve Novak. If you know, you know, because Steve Novak was a gunner off the bench. And yeah, that Knicks team was fun to watch in the 2010s. We watching Friday Night Knicks, all that shit, that theme song and shit. If you know, you know. If you're from New York, you know. But obviously, that would be the brightest times for Melo on the Knicks. In the 2013-14 season, he averaged 27.5 points per game, 8 rebounds, 3 assists. Not doing anything, not being productive to winning for a couple seasons, and really never again if you really think about it. But in the 2015-16 season, he averaged 22 points, 7.5 rebounds, and 4 assists. In the 2016-17 season, he averaged 22.5 points per game, 6 rebounds, and 3 assists. Again, not really doing anything, but that was his last season in New York. And then he went to Oklahoma City Thunder. He went to the Oklahoma City Thunder for one season. Got traded. He got traded from New York. They wanted to send him to a winner. They sent him to go play with Westbrook and Paul George, where he averaged 16 points, 6 rebounds, and 1 assist. And that big three didn't end up working, obviously. They just didn't mesh together. They wanted Melo to come off the bench. Melo said, I'm Carmelo Anthony. I'm not coming off no fucking bench. And we all know that he ended up leaving, and he went to Houston for 10 games. He averaged 13.5 points per game, 5.5 rebounds, and 0.5 assists. And Houston obviously let him go because he didn't match the system. Melo went to take mid-ranges, and we all know that the Rockets at the time wasn't a mid-range team at all. And Melo's game was surrounded around mid-ranges, so how you going to tell a nigga to change his whole game around? Doesn't really make sense. And he went to Portland, where he resurfaced his career a year later in the 2019-2020 season, where he averaged 15.5 points per game, 6 rebounds, and 1.5 assists, where he reminded niggas who the fuck he is. He's Carmelo Anthony. Don't disrespect. And he came into Portland with a chip on his shoulder. I'm pretty sure he started off with a non-guaranteed contract, and they quickly guaranteed that bitch because, yeah, what he was doing on a nightly basis, he was obviously the third option on that Portland Trail Blazers team, and it was no questioning it, like, at all. But in the 2020-2021 season, Melo averaged 13.5 points per game, 3 rebounds, and 1.5 assists. And obviously, he left Portland because he was a free agent. They had him on their contract for 2 seasons. He went to the Lakers, where he played his last season with LeBron, his mans, which I'm pretty sure they wanted to do their whole entire career, but it never really led him to that, where he averaged 13 points, 4 rebounds, and 1 assist on that Lakers team. They deemed the super team, but them niggas was trash, bro. But Melo, there was no doubt that Melo was gonna be a Hall of Famer. Like, there was no ifs, ands, or buts. But I really wanted to see Melo win a championship. Like, that's the shit I really wanted, bro. Because that's the shit that they was hanging on him for not being a winner, not just being a fucking shot chucker, which doesn't really... I hate when niggas say that about any of these players, because obviously, if the nigga could get a bucket, I want him going to get a bucket almost every single possession. Don't pass the fucking ball, nigga. Go get a bucket. And that's what Melo did, bro. But Melo was a 10-time All-Star, 2-time All-NBA second team in 2010, 2013, All-NBA third team in 2006, 2007, 2009, and 2012, the scoring champion in 2013, All-Rookie first team in 2004, obviously NBA 75th anniversary team. He won the AA championship in 2003, like I said, and for real, Melo is just a legend, and I love Melo, as if you can't tell by this video. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. What y'all think about Melo? Let me know down below. Subscribe. What's good, y'all? If y'all like this video, hit the like button and subscribe. Posting daily, almost every day or every day. And there's a video on the left or in the video on the right. If you haven't watched that one already, click it. It might be good.